Takes a minute for YouTube to begin. Setting everything up for us, getting ready, getting the link going, redirecting. There we go. We got what we need here. That here. Here. And there we go. Perfect. Let me just move this over here. Get everything ready to go. Switch my screen, or share my screen, actually. And we're in business. Good morning, Wayne. How are you? Good to see you. Robert, good morning. Remember, the early bird catches the worm. David, Brian, good morning. Ivano, Carrie, Sandeep, Dr. Serena, how are you? You guys are, I like this. Even on a holiday, you guys are here. Dave, good morning, Dave. Jill, good morning. Zen Masters in the house. Love it. I hope everybody's getting ready for 4th of July. Clay's here. As soon as we hit over 100, we will. War Dog is in the house. Dave Ogleave is in the house. A lot of Daves. JB's in the house. Cam, good morning, Cam. Good morning. Cam, what's your schedule today for Customer Service Live? Is it the same schedule? Let us know. And also let us know the schedule for Friday, okay? JB, Jody, Deanna, RJ, Steven, how are ya? Oman Beach, nice. Terrence, Francis, JB, Richard, good morning and happy. I want to say happy Friday. It feels like a Friday, but it's a Wednesday, right? Henry, good morning. Got a lot to talk about today. And I'm going to tell you, this week would be a lot more calmer if we didn't have that report coming out on Friday. This report is what's making me do this today. If we didn't have this report on Friday, I'd probably call it a weekend, you know? But this report is going to want to make me trade on Friday. This is a big report. We got Lewis, we got Elizabeth, we got Gaston. Hello there. And we have over 100 people. I'm assuming the room is going to be a little light today because it is a holiday. A lot of people are taking off. A lot of people are traveling. All right, folks, don't forget Cam White from 10 to 1 p.m., full day on Friday. Tomorrow we're off. Customer Service Live. If you have any customer service related questions, please visit your members area and hit the big red button in there. It'll take you on a Zoom link to Customer Service Live, and you'll be able to interact one-on-one with Cam and his crew. Ricky says, oh my God, great trades yesterday, and hopefully for the swing, but great trades. Thank you, Ricky. I appreciate it. Ricky, let me ask you a question. Do we ever not have good trades? Did anybody take the Apple trade I gave you guys yesterday in the pit? Bazinga's saying Trump immunity is affecting your wealth. I don't know about that. I'm not. Eagle Beagle. How are you, Eagle Beagle? Love you, Adam. Glad you're here. Office closes at 1 p.m. Okay. Robert's in the house. Good morning. All right. I'm glad, Ricky, you've been taking those trades. Let us know which trades you took. But thank you. I appreciate it. Very nice of you. All right. So, and I hope you guys took the Apple trade. Karen took it. Gary took it. Clay took it. Ricky took it. Ivano took it. Giovanna took it. Flying Ronan took it. Pat took it. Rick took it. All right. Good. A lot of people are taking the FDX. Yes, the FTX was a horrible trade, but we're making it up with it with the current Amazon trade. You're right. The FedEx trade was a bad trade for everybody, but we got to get past the FedEx trade. Duzzy, good morning. Ricky says you're the best. Thank you. Look, we're not going to have winners every time. We took a really nasty loss in weekly cash flow on, well, we're not done yet. We still have about 10 days for the trade to work our way, but FedEx went against us. We held it during earnings because it was a hedge trade. Oh, you did the Moondog in the hospital again? Moondog, we got to get you out of the hospital. All right, let's begin. Let's talk. We got 165 people in the room. Let's begin. So as you guys can see here, nothing going on with the market right now. Nothing. Completely fragmented. The Dow's up 24 points. The NASDAQ is down 13 points. not only is this uh that's all right, Ricky. Seasonality's good too. You could say it. It's all right. Seasonality's working out great. As you guys saw yesterday, when markets are, there's a lesson here for you. When markets are really random, like they are right now, and they're really, really random, there's not a lot of trading action right now. It's very easy. It's very easy to manipulate the futures. So, for example, I think either yesterday or the day before, we saw the futures. Uh, uh, Down 100 points, 150 points, and then the market opens flat. Well, that's because very few traders are pushing those futures. There's just not a lot of stuff. So you can see things out of whack. This is one of the biggest reasons. Um, this is one of the biggest reasons why I don't put too much credibility into pre-market trading hours and aftermarket trading hours because they can be easier manipulated. Now, is that always the case? No, not always the case. If we're in October or November and there's really heavy volume on futures, obviously it's not random. Good morning, Phil, Kenneth, and Nina. Um, but generally speaking, when you're in the summer and there's just not a lot of going on, it's very easy pre-market or after-market to good, does he? Good. To It's very easy pre-market to manipulate all this stuff. By the way, since I have all of you here, did any of you take that long seasonality SPY trade from last Friday till this Friday? If you have, let me know how much you're up on that trade, the S&P trade I gave you. This trade right here. This one right here. Oops. Took me to the wrong place. Sorry. The one from last Friday, honestly, haven't lost yet on any trade. You've said almost one trade, but held on to and profited. Oh, thank you for saying that, Ricky. Very, very nice of you. I appreciate it. Very, very nice of you. That's nice. Very, very nice of you, Ricky. Dr. Serena, let me know what you guys are up. Percentage. Give me a percentage that you're up on the option. I'm just curious. I'm curious. Still in it, 30% up with bad entry. 28%, 52%. All right. Hey, it pays to listen to Uncle Rogers sometimes. Good, 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 good. All right, good. So futures, very easy to manipulate right now. Very, very easy to manipulate right now. Don't pay too much attention on this, okay? Excellent, excellent. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Nice, 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 nice. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much for sharing. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Very nice of you. Very, very nice of you. For folks don't know what we're talking about a bonus trade that I gave to everybody in the free Telegram channel. Okay? The free Telegram channel. It was a seasonality trade. And don't overstay your welcome on that trade. If the market rallies really hard this afternoon, take profit on that trade. Good, good. Blair, good morning. Okay, so the market's very, very flat right now. There's not much going on. We have ADP employment report. Now, folks, pay attention. This report is going to impact the bond market. This report is coming out in about 15 minutes. Unfortunately, this report has been off. This report has been showing us that employment is in trouble. And then on Friday, we come back, and this has already happened 2 or 3 times in the last couple of months. Um, we get into this report. We get into this. We get to see this. We get to see this 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 Friday. This report. It starts giving us the idea that employment is in trouble, and then we get the real report on Friday, and the real report says employment is fine. Yeah, Dave, that's not the same. Yeah, the 333% is not. You guys are great. I love you guys. You guys are so cool. I love it. I love it. Very, very cool. Very, very cool. That's very, very nice. Thank you, Ivano, for that. All right, let me continue. I don't want to get off track here. Let me just repost that here. We got to get Cam taking some of these bonus trades. That's what we got to get Cam involved in our shenanigans. So again, this report is going to impact the bond market and potentially the stock market today. If you see that this report is saying that unemployment is getting really bad, or it's really like moving out of whack, don't pay too much attention till we see Friday's report, because Friday's report is going to be the big daddy. This is just a private report, and as I'm saying, it's been off. Also, since the market's closed tomorrow, jobless claims is today. Um, um, Thank you, Ricky. I appreciate it. Very, very nice of you. You're very kind. Very, very kind. Um, but again, the report is today because tomorrow the market's closed. Now, this report has been an absolute nothing burger, and I'm expecting it to be a nothing burger today. But again, we have very low activity in the market, so things may be staying. So be careful, be careful, be careful with this data. And don't take this too seriously, because the real deal is coming out on Friday. Okay. So other things you want to pay attention to today is going to be the international trades in goods and services, factory orders, and ISM, and petroleum status report. I'm really eagerly awaiting the petroleum status report. Why? Commodities don't get impacted during holidays nearly as much as equities. Why? Because the commodities market is a global market. And regardless, remember, Middle East doesn't celebrate 4th of July. Russia doesn't celebrate 4th of July. Europe doesn't celebrate 4th of July. So you got to be extremely, extremely cautious with these reports, especially the petroleum reports, because right now we are tethering, the XLE is tethering at the 50-day moving average. And as soon as we get above 93, we're going to start accumulating stocks. There are several, there are several stocks that I'm eyeing right now, but I'm very fearful that we're going to revert back to the downtrend. But if you look at USO, the actual crude oil fund, that's been doing, thank you. I appreciate it very much. Thank you, Ricky. I appreciate it. Look at the oil fund. It's been really moving. I mean, really, 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 really moving here. Okay. So be careful. Be very careful. This can revert lower, and if it does, well, it'll look just like this, which will be nothing. But I'm really interested in I don't think I've ever seen energy stocks deviate so much from the USO. So I'm going to be extra, 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 extra cautious, and I'm going to wait till we get to this red line. If you guys want to know what that level is, it's 93.17. 93.17, and I am going to be looking aggressively for energy stocks. And we'll do it together here. You have nothing to worry about. It's not like we're not going to talk about it here. We'll talk about it plenty. But I'm not going to be looking at any energy stocks till we get up to this level. And if we can't get up to this level, I would be looking to short the weakest energy stocks, because the odds are we're going to come right back down here and make another low. So I'm very, very I like this, but I'm very skeptical of this. And remember, energies are kind of they do their own thing. So it's very hard to get confirmation from other assets when you're trading energy. Like when we're trading the stock market, even if one of our sectors is not doing great, uh, we can kind of lean on the entire market, or we can lean on the other sector. But with energy, I mean, the only thing you're going to get feedback from is global economy fundamentals, US dollar, and gold, and they're not day to day. So this you're kind of on your own little island when you're trading energy. So don't get suckered into energy stocks right now, because till we get to this level, I'm not going to be very certain that this is making a turnaround. As of right now, this can literally just as easily come right back down. And 2 months from now, we're going to be looking at this trend line and saying, oh, it popped up a little bit and then reverted back to the main trend. Because look, the main trend is down. And the reason I'm talking a lot about it is because I'm getting a lot of emails from you guys saying, hey, what about this stock? What about this stock? It looks more like USO. And I'm saying, no, it really isn't. It's got to pass this resistance level. And I appreciate you guys doing that. And there's nothing wrong with sending me those emails. I love those emails. Those are the best kind of emails, because I can interact with you and I can look at those levels and I can learn something. Like I'm learning something from those emails. Remember, it's a two-way street. We learn from each other. So You see this red line? Till we pass this red line, I'm not doing anything on energies. Gold is not worth even talking about right now. I mean, there's nothing here. If you want to trade the chop, you can, but honestly, I'm thinking this could be a Head and Shoulders developing. I'm not seeing, especially if we start. Good morning, Eugene. Good morning there. Especially if we start entering a deflationary environment, and a deflationary environment can start as early as November. Folks, November is not that far from now. So this we haven't seen a consolidation like this in a while in the gold market. It's been a while. I mean, we saw one right here, we saw one right here, one right here, but typically they don't last very long. They last maybe 2 months, 2.5 months, and then we get a move. So what I'm hoping for is that the move is going to continue going higher. But fundamentally speaking, and I don't want to be a fundamental speaker, but fundamentally speaking, if we are in fact starting a deflationary period, and which will propel stocks higher next quarter, if that's the case, then I don't see more upside for the gold market. And I know T Buzz has some ideas, and he likes to get politics involved. I don't use politics in my analysis at all. I have zero I have zero interest or sense for politics. I do not put politics into my analysis. I'm a true technician. I look at the market technically. So if you guys think that gold will go up, if Biden will get elected, or and I'm not getting into any of that. I'm just saying that I'm not looking at any of that. I'm simply looking at it from a technical perspective, and I'm not liking what I'm seeing right now. So the best thing to do with gold is not to touch it, just to stay away from gold and energy stocks. What about bonds? Well, whew, wow, we talked a lot about bonds yesterday. We're coming off of this level here, but we haven't broken down. I believe we may huff and puff, come up a little bit here, and I think we're going to come right back down. As a matter of fact, there you go. Hey, Marshall, glad you're feeling better. Marshall was in the hospital too. He had some health trouble, and he's feeling better. Marshall, glad you're back. Glad you're back. Yeah, I'm more of a technical guy. I'm a technical trader. So I believe we're going to break this over the next week, and I think we're going to break lower, and I think yield is going to increase. Now, do I think we're going to huff and puff and start a downtrend? No. Actually, here's what I think is going to happen. I think we're going to come down. I think we're going to break this level, maybe come down here, huff and puff around here. There's a really good chance that this is the low. Why? Because when we were in October of 2023, we were talking about interest rates going really high. And remember, bonds price everything in ahead of time. So I think there's going to be one last drop, and that's going to be the disappointment when the kid doesn't get his bike in less than 30 days, in about 3.5 weeks, and then we're going to come right back down. Volatility is doing absolutely nothing because the stock market is making new highs right now. What were they expecting? Thank you for that. What were they expecting on the ADP? They were expecting private payroll 161. Not that off. Not that off. But again, this number this number hasn't been accurate. But it really isn't it really isn't that bad. Look at consensus. 100 to 100. There's a lesson here. When you see consensus, sometimes when you look at consensus and the numbers will be really tight, that means the market is pricing in something very specific. When you see the number like this, 100 to 200,000, basically the consensus is there's no consensus. They have no idea what they're thinking about, and the market's not pricing it in. But let's see the bond market. Bond market's reacting positively. Good. This is good. This is not bad for the market. But again, you're not going to get the real report. You're not going to get the real report till Friday. This is the real report right here. And by the way, the last 2 or 3 times, this has been miserably wrong. Miserably wrong. Okay? So we'll take a look at the bond market. Don't be surprised if we fill this gap right here, maybe come up a little bit higher and then start cooling off again. Yeah, and remember, there's nobody trading today. It's not a big day today. The next one up is going to be the jobless claims. And jobless claims, the only reason this would raise eyebrows is if this was like 275, 300. Every time it goes up, it goes down 5 times afterwards. So look at the moving average, 236 consensus. We're right on track. Please don't pay any attention to this number if it's like 250 or 220 or even 265. It's for 2.5 years. Everybody says the VIX is broken. This indicator is broken because it hasn't picked up one time. I mean, it picks up one time and then it just falls right back down. And then it's in the low 200s. So honestly, this number has to be so out of whack for the Fed to pay attention. Like if I see 320, right? 300, 350. But if I see something within the 200s, forget about it. And remember, we're already getting close to the time when the Fed is actually supposed to take action. The closer we get to September, November, that's when things are really supposed to happen. So I'm not feeling it. Not really feeling it. All right, so bond market a little bit higher, a little more upside, maybe take off pressure from stocks during the holidays. Not seeing too much selling today in the spot, which is why I said if you're going to hold stocks like Apple, it's okay to hold overnight. Volatility is dead. There's nothing going on in the volatility. Penny says low man on the totem pole is manning the trading offices today with instructions to do nothing, don't screw up. That's exactly right, Penny. That's exactly right. The big boys are out. The only reason the big boys will check in is if Friday's unemployment number is worth talking about. The only reason I'm here is because of this. Otherwise, I would have just taken, and I'm even working from home on Friday. Matt's taking off on a holiday. I'll be working from home. I'll be here all day. But if honestly, if this report wasn't here, I would take Friday off. There would be nothing going on. There would be no fund managers in sight if this report was not on. All right. Let's look at the this is equal weighted SPY. This is equal weighted SPY. You could see we're still consolidating. We're not really going anywhere. There's no directional bias. Not sure, JB. I'm not sure about that. I'll have to take a look. We took profit on Tesla, by the way, in the pit. This week in the pit, we traded Apple with a winner, Tesla winner, and SWK with a winner. 2 longs and 1 short, and we have winners on all 3. Just saying. And we scratched AEO. And a lot of people actually stayed in it and made money. So our win rate is preserved in the pit. We're near 96 percentile. Can you imagine that? Almost 200 trade with a 96% win rate. There will be the pit today, Duzzy, and I'll be talking more about seasonality in the pit today. All right. Got to give you another lesson on seasonality today. The pit regular time from 12 to 1 o'clock. By the way, guys, here's a couple of links for you. At 10 a.m., I'm doing a class on seasonality. I'll be talking about my number 1 seasonality stock. I'll be talking about stocks that I'm very confident in during the seasonality window. But back testing tells me that the strongest stock is I like this stock. So if you want to check it out, don't miss at 10 a.m. At 10 a.m., I'm going to do a class. At 12, I'm going to do the pit. And then I'm out. I'm out at 1 o'clock. I'm going to be back home at 1 p.m. Here's the pit. So again, we have a class at 10 a.m. I'm going to be giving you my number 1 seasonality play. It's going to be a juicy one. And then we have the pit at noon. So the equal weighted SPY, when you take away the market cap, what is it doing? Nothing. What about the broad market? Look at that. Still choppy, but starting to come up a little bit. Well, so is this one, but not nearly as much. So you could see this is capital weighted. This is equal weighted. So you could see the difference. Look at this and look at this. Yes, FANG stocks are still driving the market. Don't know, Terrence. Don't know. Thank you, Ricky. I appreciate it. You're great, Ricky. Thank you. So see that? Choppy, but a little bit more upside where this is just kind of getting off. What does that tell us in a nutshell, real quick, just a real quick view? That's telling us, of course she did. That's telling us that the market's choppy, but it's telling us that the FANG stocks are coming in to offer some support, and they are. Apple and Microsoft are back on my list, and I think Google is too. I think Matt just told me Google is too. Now, what about QQQ? This is the equal weighted SPY. Look at how much it rallied yesterday. There was some meat on the bones on the Nasdaq yesterday. Non-large Nasdaqs were actually moving yesterday. They were. You could tell by this. What about the regular Nasdaq? Same thing. So we were able to get some movement from the QQQs and tech stocks across the board, but as far as the SPY, as far as the blue chips, the main strength came from the FANG stocks. How does our sector view support that? How does our sector view support that? Lilly, yes, Lilly's. I talked about Lilly a few days ago. Lilly's a top stock. Thank you for that. Lilly, yeah, it's the Alzheimer's drug is Lilly. So let's look at our sectors. What do our sectors tell us? Look where the strength is, guys. Again, consume. What did I tell you? My number one sector yesterday was. What am I targeting? Consumer discretionary. Invesco. By the way, a lot of this has to do with Tesla yesterday. Consumer discretionary. QQQ technology. Where's communication services? Where's our communication? Right here. That's the only one that's out of whack. Notice something else that's interesting. Semiconductors are not leading anymore. Consumer discretionary, QQQ technology, but not semiconductors. Semiconductors are break. Yeah, we took a profit on it yesterday, Penny. I think 30 something percent when it broke out right at the end of the day. We've been hitting it pretty hard, guys. I know FedEx. I know it's like, what can I tell you? You're not going to get it right all the time. Bitcoin is moving up. You could clearly see that blue chips are suffering right now. Tech is leading, and non-chip tech is leading. Folks, that's the first time that's happened in quite some time. Consumer discretionary has been really, really lagging, but look at it now. Number one sector, QQQ, technology, semiconductors. You can clearly see the technology is leading again. But it's mixed. The Dow Jones is here, communication is here. So we still have some amount of fragmentation, but you can clearly see that non-blue chip tech and non-semiconductors are what's leading. Let's take a quick look at semiconductors. So the S&P made an all-time high, right? All-time high. But what about semiconductors? They haven't. Now, if you look at SMH, which is the index that tracks semiconductors, and if you look, oops, wrong stock. And if you look at NVIDIA, you will see that NVIDIA and SMH are not doing anything differently. We need to see SMH go above the 268.90 level for me to become bullish on chips again. And NVIDIA, we need NVIDIA. I would be writing these levels down if I were you. And NVIDIA needs to break above this area right here, 128.50 or maybe even 129. Until it breaks that level, I'm going to be neutral to bearish on these stocks. And I will not be buying any semiconductor stocks unless that semiconductor stocks looks like the S&P and is making a new all-time high. So no soup for semiconductors. I know you want to buy your AMD. I know you want to buy your NVIDIA. No. This is the time to start focusing on Microsoft. This is a time to start focusing on NVIDIA. Sorry, wrong stock again. Not NVIDIA. On Google. This is a time to start focusing on Apple, but this is not a time to start focusing on NVIDIA. And if you look at Micron, see that? Look how weak it is. It's already at this base. It'll take a lot of energy to undo this. Okay? And Qualcomm, if you look at them, they're all cooling off. They're all cooling off. It's going to take a lot of work to completely undo. See, I think what's going to happen is this is going to come up here and then fall back down. So I really need to see this make a new high before we get into it. So I am not going to be doing anything on semiconductors. Okay. Nothing on semiconductors. Okay. So very, very clearly, you could see consumer discretionary. And if you look at consumer discretionary, you could see they're moving really well right now. If you look at stocks on consumer discretionary, Amazon, Tesla, that's 40% of the index. So you see why it's rising? So be careful because this is causing the sector to look like it's going crazy. But in truth, it's just these two stocks. So you always have, this is why I do what I do. I like to dissect, I like to go in. Yes, TSM has been moving. TSM has been moving. And by the way, to what Richard just said, if I see a semiconductor stock that's doing this and coming up above this level, it'll be in play. But I want to see semiconductor stocks that are making new highs. So the question is, can they make new highs? Can they make new highs? There's a couple. Cirrus Logic. This one looks good. But my point is, unless it's doing this, I ain't interested. I'm only interested in semiconductor stocks that are doing this. Okay? Otherwise, no soup. No soup. Okay? Very, very important. All right, let's spread out. Let's go broad market, and then we'll get into, first of all, let me do levels. Levels. I know you guys love to do levels. So let's do levels. Oops. All right, we tried to take out this high yesterday. I'm not very convinced. There's a really good chance that the market can huff and puff this morning and then start coming right back down to the 542 level. But we are at all-time highs. And usually when we're all-time highs, liquidity is pretty good. So the level you want to watch right now is whether we stay above 548 or below 548 and whether we stay above or below 542. On the QQQ, same thing. I'm not convinced that we are going to stay above this level. So today, the level I want to watch is 545.50 and 478. On the Dow, remember, blue chips are weaker than tech. So you're not seeing a breakout. See how much in depth we can get with our market analysis if we start taking things apart and really labeling things and looking to see at each level. It gives us a much clearer idea of what the market is really doing. What we're doing is we're just taking the market and we're dissecting it piece by piece, little by little. We're looking for all the details. So the levels were right here, 395, 39,500 is the level we want to hold above or below. And if we can't break 39,430, not 500, 39,430, then the odds are we can go down all the way to 39,000. So we got about a 400-point range here. And I'm very skeptical that today, with very little data and a short day, with most funds out, that we're going to hit above this level. Also, if you don't see any trades in the pit today, and I don't know if there will be trades in the pit or not, but if you don't see any trades in the pit today, please don't be surprised. There's very little institutional trading right now, and what the pit does is follow institutional trading. So if I can't find anything that institutions are flowing into, I'm not going to do anything. And I'm only doing that to protect you, okay? I literally have 30 stocks I could trade at any given time. Just not doing that. I'm doing that for your benefit. Fred says holding NVIDIA long stock in or out. I would be careful with NVIDIA right now. I would be very, very careful with NVIDIA right now. All right, let's check on the market. Not much change since we had the report. Let's look at employment. Let's see, jobless claims. See that? Not even worth talking about. 238. Not even worth talking about. There, and if you hear anybody saying jobless claims are increasing, laugh at them. This is not an increase. This is nothing. It's not even worth talking about. Okay, which is why the market's doing absolutely nothing. All right. So, with that said, let's put everything together, and then I'll give you my stocks and maybe get you out of here a little early. And don't forget, customer service live from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. every day. And I've got a 10 a.m. event. I'm doing a 10 a.m. event. Here's the link. And I'm going to give you my number one seasonality stock. This is a very, very cool play. And then we got VIP room at noon. And today I'm going to do a special bonus again with seasonality, okay? So let's talk about this. Markets are looking for the June release of this is Friday's report. Everybody's waiting for Friday's report. That's really what everybody's waiting for right now, including myself. And again, the only reason I'll be here on Friday is because of that report. Tesla surged. Their deliveries went really, really well. I've been bullish on Tesla ever since it broke the 200-day moving average. I've been telling you about that. Bank of America has been upgraded. We took a 30-something% profit in one of our programs on it yesterday. CrowdStrike got downgraded, but I still really like this stock. I'm technically bullish on this stock, just FYI. Very much so, Mark. Very much so. Job openings came in a little higher, which is telling us that the kid may get his bike a little sooner. But then Jerome Powell completely put water on the kid's face by saying that recent economic data indicates inflation is returning downwards trajectory, but stressed the policymakers require additional evidence before reducing rates. I agree with him. Powell refrained from offering any specific guides. He acknowledged that the central bank has made quite a bit of progress. They have. He added that he would like to see the progress continue. I agree, because the U.S. economy is strong and labor market is strong. You see that? Labor market is strong. And that gives them the flexibility to not do anything. See, if the market was weak, then they have to take action. We need a crutch. It's not weak. We don't have a crutch. We have the ability to take our time and get it right. And that's what we're planning to do. You know what that reminds me of? I remember my mom trying to Jedi mind trick me when I was a kid. Oh, don't worry. You're not getting the bike in September, but we're going to get you a better bike in November. You see, the only reason we're not getting you a bike in September is because you're going to get a better bike. You're going to get the bike that's made out of full chromoly. You know, your Diamondback Silver Streak was only made 50% chromoly, but now you're going to get a red line. It's going to be a full chromoly bike. It's going to be 3 pounds lighter, and it's not going to be a $300 bike. It's going to be a $400 bike. So that's what this sounds like to me. Okay, like basically we're doing this for the benefit of the economy. The trouble with this is I believe what he's saying 100%. I agree with what he's saying. And let me tell you, I'm not here to make friends with Powell. I couldn't care less about this guy. I'll throw him under the bus in a New York second. But he's not saying anything off. He's being 100% truthful, and he doesn't have to lie right now because that's just what it is. This moved from 10.1% to 8.8%. I'm anticipating this to move to zero within the next 3.5 weeks, and this to start being about 12, 13% in September. I think there is maybe a 10 to 20% chance, maybe a 15% chance that they'll take action in September, but more likely than not, November, okay? ADP came out. We already know that this number didn't do squat. Jobless claims came out. We know that this number didn't do squat. Non-manufacturing, what time does that come out? PMI, that's 945. International trades and goods and services. Nothing crazy. They were looking for a deficit of 76. They got 75. Nothing worth talking about at all. And again, the market's doing nothing. I mean, absolutely nothing. Okay. Factory orders are going to be coming out today. All this coming out around 10 o'clock. Europe up this morning, rebounding from losses in previous sessions as sentiment improved following dovish comments from Federal Chair. Mining and tech stocks outperformed. Survey released on Wednesday indicated the overall business growth across Eurozone slowed in June, with robust expansion in dominant service sectors offsetting decline in manufacturing. Nothing really crazy there. China closed lower as investors digested data and showed a slowdown in nation's service activity. Software stocks led the decline on Wednesday. A private sector survey showed that activity at its slowest pace in 8 months, with confidence hitting a 4-month low, driven by slower growth in new orders, mirroring the trend observed in official data. This is telling us that FXI, Chinese stocks, could potentially be setting themselves up for another down move. They're kind of moving up right now, down move. As soon as they start breaking below this VWAP level, I'm going to start shorting Baidu, Baba, and all those Chinese stocks, waiting for them. Ray says, West Coast, good morning. So early coffee. Oh, my goodness. Thank you for being here and supporting us, Ray. So wait for this FXI to start trading below the VWAP levels, the quarterly and the annual VWAP. As soon as it does, we're going to have some clearance to short stocks that are impacted by Europe and Asia, by China and Europe. Japan closed higher. Optimism regarding interest rate cuts. I don't know why we weren't that optimistic, but they were. Electronics and heavy industry led the gains. A private sector survey showed that Japanese service activity contracted for the first time in nearly 2 years. Meanwhile, Japan's 10-year government bond yield surged to its highest level since 2011. Interest rates are going up. Dell Computer, which was one of I put 2 stocks on my watch list a couple of days ago in the pit. One of them was Coinbase, and the other one was Dell. Dell just got upgraded by Bank of America. I like Dell. I'm focused on Dell quite a bit. And Constellation Brands has earnings today. All right. Now, let's talk about stocks on my list. First of all, I gave you this stock the last couple of days. I told you this whole Roaring Kitty has an impact on this stock because of this whole Roaring Kitty Chewy thing. Reddit is getting some readers. I told you yesterday morning that Reddit was my right here. It was my number 3 stock yesterday morning on this show. Reddit gained 10% yesterday after I talked about it here in the morning, right here. Just FYI, it pays to listen to Uncle Roger. I think most of you already know that by now. I also highlighted XLY yesterday morning, and XLI did really, really well. When should we update the quarter date for quarterly VWAP? 2 weeks into the new quarter. Wait 2 weeks into the new quarter. We're not there yet. I wanted to build data for about two and a half weeks. I usually wait about 15 to 20 days, Brian, including weekends. So 2 to 3 weeks. Good question, though. So gave you those yesterday. So let's talk about stocks for today, okay? PCAR. I'll do the short side first, okay? Broke the 200-day moving average. Just wait for it to break a little lower. McDonald's. Now, when and that's a consumer discretionary stock. So when you see McDonald's breaking down, that ain't good. Good question, Brian. Good question. CF. I would be writing these down if I were you, and I would be watching them carefully throughout the day. CF. Again, today, I don't know if we should be watching anything. I think maybe today the best thing to do is not to do anything. But just saying. These are good swing trades. Consumer staples not looking great. This stock, Win, very much related to China. And also, now don't trade both, but they're both doing the same thing. Las Vegas Sands and Wynn, I'm just showing you both. Sometimes the reason I give you both is sometimes one will have much better options, liquidity. So you're like, okay, which one should I do? Pick the one that has the best options because they're following each other. Or pick the one that has a better chart. But you get my point. Don't do both of them unless you want to buy 100, sell 100 shares so you could do 50 of each. That's fine too. Breaking down APLS, pharmaceutical, beautiful chart. Hey, do you guys remember this stock? Back on our short list. It huffed, it puffed, it hit the 200-day moving average, and then what did it do? That was a pit trade, by the way. I scratched it, but a lot of people held it and made money on it. Breaking the 200-day moving average. Yeah, Moondog, they're having trouble, big trouble. And this is a stock that, remember yesterday I was talking about things that are related to housing market. Well, this stock is relating to the housing market. Um, home and security, home products, water innovations, security cabinets, everything relating to homes. This company does. So if the housing market starts sliding, this stock is definitely a stock you want to have on your short list. Again, FBIN. If interest rates start going higher, this stock will go lower. If home builders go down, this stock will go lower. It doesn't have a choice. You see, everything they do is related to home sales. Just wanted to bring that to your attention, okay? This is I should have given you this yesterday. This was a really good example. I don't know why I did, or maybe I did. I'm not sure. No, I don't think I did. But I don't think I did. But this is a perfect example of what I was talking about yesterday. Perfect example when I was talking about Leonard Holmes and D.H. Horton. Perfect example. Stock that's totally related, completely dependent on home builders. Okay. Because people change their cabinets, get new alarms, get water filtration systems when they buy or build homes. They don't do it with Wayfair, possibly. Possibly, yes. Home furnishings too. Yes. Yes, very much so. Hasn't been on my radar, but yes, it has to break down below this level right here. It's not on my radar because it hasn't broken down yet, but yes. Yes, Leonard. 100%. By the way, by the way, a personal story. When I moved to Florida, we don't believe in buying expensive furniture because we have 8 pets. We have 4 dogs and 4 cats, and they run around, they chew things. Restoration Hardware, 2 penny, yes. They chew things. So we don't believe in buying expensive furniture. Our furniture usually has a cycle of a couple of years, and we just replace our furniture. And we're not like my wife can be clumsy sometimes. And that's okay. I don't have a problem with that. My problem is this has to break down. My problem is this: we bought a bunch of furniture for Wayfair. Half the furniture we moved. We what we wanted to do. Listen to this story, okay? We moved to Florida 6 years ago, exactly 6 years ago. A week ago, 6 years ago. So the plan was we bought this house 6 months in advance and we bought all the furniture. And the plan was to buy the furniture. We had people working on the house for us to move here. And when we moved here, for everything to already be ready to go. And half of the furniture that was in the boxes, we just left it in the boxes because we saw no reason to unpack it. It was damaged from Wayfair, half. And then I found out there was an article of people saying they buy things that Wayfair, when they get returns, they just repackage them and try to sell them to you and hope that you don't unpack it or find it or return it before the time the warranty expires. So I personally had a very, very bad experience with this company. And then I got confirmation that what happened to me was happening with other people. So be very, very careful buying stuff from Wayfair. And if you do buy stuff from Wayfair, open your boxes and check the merchandise the minute you get it. Don't just assume it's all 100%. True story. True story. And not like one thing, like 8 things we bought from them. Half of what we bought was damaged. And because we kept it for so long before we opened it, we couldn't return it. So I have a really bad taste in my mouth from this company. I'm giving you a personal experience, okay? All right, let's do the long side. Should have told you that story a long time ago, but just never came up. Beautiful stock. And look how it's hugging the 8-day EMA, the A line. Loved stocks touching the A line. We took a profit I used the A line almost exclusively in my top alpha stocks in Bargain Hunter. And we just took VTR off the table yesterday using the 8 line. This stock right here. Just took profit on it yesterday. That was using the A line. Yeah. GoDaddy. Yeah, it's garbage. I'm never buying from them. I'm never buying again from them ever. I mean, awful, awful, awful. Just garbage, 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 garbage. It wasn't expensive, but it was garbage. Exactly, Arthur. So look at this. Beautiful, beautiful. GoDaddy looks beautiful right now. Now this is like a perfect swing trading. I'm going to make a note of this. I may want to put this in top alpha stock. I like this stuff. Like I can't find anything wrong with this stock right now. This is like a beautiful, beautiful. Like if you show me stock picks, I would tell you this is like a poster child of a swing trade stock for me. Hey, at least one thing, I'm consistent, right? I pick the same type of stocks all the time. TKO, I like these nice little bounces, but it's still at the 8-day EMA. IDCC. It wasn't that easy finding a long list today, but Microsoft and Apple are still on my list. IDCC, Fox News. A little choppy, but you may take some heat with this one, but looks pretty good. Book publisher. I haven't had this stock on my list in a very, very long time. In a very, very long time. I mean that. I'm not being sarcastic. I have. Sometimes I'll say that sarcastically, but this looks good right here. Beautiful, 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 beautiful picture. That's a beautiful swing trading stock. A lot of these stocks are just really nice swing trading stocks right now. Wrong symbol, wrong symbol. Gee, beautiful, beautiful. I love how it's sticking to the 8-day EMA. Yeah, Fox is a new one too. VRSK. Be careful with spreads on this one, but I do like this one. You may want to just do a debit spread on that one. FRPT. We've talked about this one several times. Fresh Pet. Beautiful swing. Beautiful, beautiful swing. Beautiful swing. Give these to Matt today. And then finally, Microsoft. I still like Microsoft. I do. And I still like Apple. And I still like Apple. And Google doesn't look bad either. Let's just see if it's deviated from the EMA. Yeah, I would wait for Google to come back to like around the 182, lower one, high 82 levels, high 182s. It's a little overextended. It'll probably come right back down, test this, and come right back up. So maybe buy it around here. I love stocks near I'm telling you guys, if I can bottle it like a genie, if I can bottle the 8-day EMA, the A line, the accumulation line, I would. I love this indicator. I love this. And I probably use it for every trade I've ever given you guys. All right. That is all I have for today. Now, remember, I'm going to give you my top seasonality stock. Now, there's no guarantees in trading, but this is my top stock. I'll give it to you today at 10 a.m. Click the link, join me. It's the strongest pick I've got. and join me in my VIP room today where I'll give you guys another seasonality lesson. Okay. I'm going to show you another seasonality lesson today. It'll be a good one. I'll talk about finding stocks. I'll show you how you can use correlation on related stocks. It'll be a lot of fun. This is my seasonality week, so I'm talking a lot about correlation. Roughly, when should you expect your monthly front runner update? Today, Penny. I was waiting for this week, probably today, most likely today. Uh, you know what, Penny? Do me a favor, send me an email, remind me. Or maybe we'll do it on Friday after the holidays, either today or Friday. Folks, have a happy 4th of July holiday. Please don't drink and drive. If you have any questions about anything, you can always email me. I'm going to have a very exciting holiday. I'm going to be doing absolutely nothing except working on trades for you guys and working on the Mind Traps booklet that I'm making the second part of. I'm going to have a very boring holiday. Customer service live from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. And have a great day. I'll see you at 10 a.m. We'll do our last seasonality class, and I'll give you my number one seasonality stock. Bye, guys. Have a great, great day. Love you all, and thank you so much for hanging out with me today. You guys always making me feel good in the morning. Bye.